Okay, we can see your screen. You can go ahead.
Okay. So, okay. So, from the last time we had the demo session, we've made it, um, we've made some few changes and modifications to how the app functions and the functionality. So, this is the home page of the sender, similar to that of the dispatcher. So, on the home page, the sender can click on send package. So if the sender wants to schedule a trip or a pickup, sender clicks on send package. What's wrong? Sorry, please. I don't know what that is. I apologize for that. Sorry about that, please. So sender clicks on send package, and so sender is able to input the pickup address and drop off location. Sender is able to select between a range of that describes the size of the package. Sender can add in notes. So unlike before, we have added another functionality. So sender can now upload the picture of the item they will be willing to send.
Mhm.
And we believe this will be better because if they were to go by weights, it could be misleading.
Yeah.
And because unlike before where they couldn't, the price wasn't there. So now the amount will be determined by by the dispatcher after he has seen the detail of what the sender wants him or her to pick up. So the best way is for the dispatcher to be able to see what he's speaking and so he'll be able to determine the price or as we have used the quotes, what he will be quoting. So after filling this form,
So
the
my
sender can
a
then,
quick question before you go.
okay,
So number one, is this image going to be compulsory? Number two, is what's the default state without the picture?
oh, okay. So the image is going to be compulsory. Um, for the purpose of time, I had skipped so I apologize for that. This is the default state. But so that the demo, I was supposed to prepare a video so that it's not too long. I had skipped the default stage in the prototype. So
Okay.
this is what the default states look like.
Okay.
So sender is able to input all this information and then confirm and share. So the detail of the form sender just filled will be shown upon confirming, just so he's sure. Then this is sent. So after filling this, sender returns home or edits, a notification will be sent to the dispatcher.
Mhm.
And so before we go through that, uh, if okay, if the sender chooses to not, so now because the dispatcher is the one determining the price, even if the sender, these are available dispatchers on the home page of the sender. So now it is mandatory for sender to fill a form before they request pickup. So if sender, upon seeing the available dispatcher, sender can either request the pickup or view the details of the detail of the dispatcher.
Hmm.
If the sender clicks on request pickup, he is immediately taken to the chat interface because now he wants to request. It didn't go through. So because the sender has not filled the form, there is a banner here saying you haven't confirmed your request yet. Tap below to complete your delivery details and send the request. That is because sender, it's mandatory that they fill the form. So here, sender just wants to find out more details before it goes ahead to confirm. So right there, I saw your, so upon having this conversation, if sender is is satisfied, you can then go ahead and complete request. Upon clicking that, sender is taken back to the form page where he now fills the
Sorry,
same
sorry, sorry.
form and
Hold
select.
on. Can you go back?
Okay. All right, sir. Okay. Sorry.
Where the
Okay.
request pick up? So
Here.
when it says complete request, are they still able to type?
At this stage, yes, at this stage, yeah, the sender has not clicked. So they are chatting here. They can type now. But once he clicks on complete request, the chat interface closes up and then the form shows up. But at this point, sender has not clicked.
Oh, hold
This
on.
is just
So okay, so they are chatting to arrange this pickup and everything.
yes.
Yes, to confirm the availability of the selected dispatcher.
Okay.
So he
So,
is able to chat, but then he's not able to complete the request because if he doesn't fill the form Fermi was referring to, where he uploads the
so
image
to complete
and then puts
request,
in,
so to complete request,
yes,
they will now click on the complete request, right?
exactly, so that the
Yes.
dispatcher will be able to make a quote of the price. So he has to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So when sender clicks on that, he's able to impute the details of the item, every other detail, and then he submits. So upon submitting, this is a breakdown of the detail. Um, is now able to confirm, and then there's a success message saying you have successfully submitted. So sender can return home. Now, if the sender chooses to not click on request, but clicks on view details, sender is able to see the detail. So instead, or unlike the previous interaction where sender didn't bother, probably by just seeing the few details on the card, says, okay, let me go ahead and ask the dispatcher some few questions. Was here, sender clicks on view details to read more details about the sender and see the contact information. So here, sender can, upon being, if sender is satisfied, if not satisfied, can change the dispatcher, but if satisfied, can click on add info and confirm. So yet again, the form will come up and ask to fill the form, then confirm and sender returns them. Now, a notification is sent to the dispatcher.
So um
Okay, okay, I'm listening.
hmm, did we agree on them being able to make a call or just be able to chat?
Uh, I
No, the last
believe that
time we made a presentation, you told us that we should allow them to chat.
Okay. What of making a call? Did we talk about making a call?
No, except you want to add it now,
Because
which we now make it a choice.
because I'm seeing it here, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, maybe it's from the previous ones was for them to call, but the last time you said we should give them the opportunity of chatting so that we'll be able to know what they discuss. If they chat within the app, we'll be able to know what is going on. And that's the reason why we also have to bring in the payment platform to it too.
And also to that, ultimately, when they have agreed and pickup has taken place, there will then be a functionality of making calls, especially
Oh,
while they're on the run. They will
yeah,
then be
but
able to call.
okay, cool. But they're not able to make call before then. Is that what you're saying? They cannot see the.
Yes, so we are making them chat so that everything takes place. We have visibility. So the chatting has to take place until pickup is done. Then the calling functionality then becomes effective after that. At least we can see from end to finish when they've made payment and then everything is within our purview.
And then they will now be able to make the call.
Then they will now be able to call on the run so that they can get more clarification and give
Okay,
status updates.
okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. All right, let's go. Let's keep on. Let's continue. Go ahead, please. Fermi, are you there? Please go ahead. Is Fermi there? If you're saying something,
Probably
I can't hear you.
just checking. Oh, I think the
Maybe
call
not.
dropped off.
Yeah, maybe network. Okay. But this
Okay.
looks good so far.
So if we can just verbally run you through, and then eventually the prototype will be sent along. So
Mhm.
at that point, that notification appears to the dispatcher, and then it takes a look at the details, including the image, and then is able to give a quote of what he wants to take for dispatching, and then he sends that to the sender. The sender looks at it. If they agree, they select agree and submit, and then the transaction continues. Otherwise, they can do a counter offer wherein they say instead of $50, all I'm willing to do is $30. Oh, Ferrum is back. So I'll give that to you.
I'm so sorry. It's raining here, so network is a bit funny. I apologize. Okay, so should I go ahead or you?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so now after the sender has submitted the request, uh, dispatcher receives a notification, and so from his own page, he clicks and is able to see now because we process payments. So anyway, we'll get to that, but for the purpose of this flow, is able to then see that sender has confirmed the delivery, all details verified, clicks on that, and then is able to see the details of what the sender wants to pick. It sees the image, the location, and all. And so now, please, uh, I apologize. Okay, so now it can confirm, and upon clicking confirm, is now able to um, send a quote. Okay, I believe I was supposed to change it. So we said the word we'll use is quotes. That's what is relevant. So I'll change that. So he's able to send a quote to the sender. So he clicks on send offer, and then offer sent, waiting for sender's response. You'll be notified when the sender responds to offer stay closed. This is the detail. So dispatcher returns home. So the last flow is so from the sender's page now, sender also receives a notification upon now that the dispatcher has sent a price offer. Dispatcher has sent price offer, um, and so uh, sender clicks that, and this is the price, right? So it takes sender to the chat interface, and so
Hmm.
right there in the chat interface, sender sees the price. It's still pending because sender can choose to make a counter the quote, but it sees that what the dispatcher sent is $45 in this case, and so they can go ahead to chat if he's willing. In this case, the sender says he wants to know if he's willing to do it for $40, and then the dispatch says, "Okay, I can make that work. Let's go ahead." So the sender has the functionality to he can counter the code and then impute a different amount and sends it. So when it sends it, right there, still in the chat, it's now there is that notification that sender's new quote is $40 as against the 45. So this is still pending because they've not agreed. So it's $40. The dispatcher can accept. He still has the option to either accept or decline. So if he chooses to accept, sorry, so I believe, okay, sorry about that. I missed out a detail. So, okay. So if he chooses to accept, um, it's it takes the transaction is over, then the sender sees the notification on his own page, but that's a different flow. But from here, once he clicks accept, the chat closes. That's the end of the business, and then the sender is taken back, dispatcher is taken back to the home page, and then the sender sees a notification. I have designed that, but that's going to show from the flow of the sender. In the case where the sender is pleased with the amount and doesn't want to make a counter offer, the sender clicks on accept. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I'll run us through the flow. If the dispatcher declines and is not pleased with regardless of the conversation they had before, if the dispatcher is not pleased with the new price offer, you can still choose to decline. And so if it clicks on decline, it's told decline delivery request. Are you sure you want to cancel this request? The sender will be notified. So we don't want a case where if either of the user chooses to change their mind, they will just be logged off the chat interface. We want them to know that this is the reason why the transaction or the deal didn't go through. So the sender will be notified and this chat will be closed. So dispatch can decline and go back to chat. In this case, the reason is because it could actually decline that price and they could go over another price. So if dispatch clicks on decline and go to chat, there's a notification here telling the sender that the dispatch had declined the offer. The dispatcher is saying, I thought about it, your price quote won't work. So sender can make, but although I thought about this flow, because there has to be an end to the back and forth. So maybe we have to restrict, but we've not gone over that. Restrict the number of times they're able to keep going back and forth. Yeah. So, but in this case, sender can make a different quote. In the case where, okay, so sorry about that. So in the case where I'm so sorry, I'm taking us back. So in the case where, okay, decline. In the case where the dispatch decides to decline and end the chat, it declines, then we ask for a feedback. We'd love your feedback. We want to know why dispatch declined. And then they have a drop down that where they could select. We'll give them possible answers, and then they could type the reason here. And so dispatcher submits, delivery cancelled. You have cancelled this request. The sender will be notified and the chat will close. So what happens on the other end is that, but that's a different flow because it's from the sender's flow. The sender sees a notification saying that this is the reason why this chat has ended, dispatch decline. So dispatch can return home. So and then in the case where the transaction actually goes smoothly and dispatch accept price, if the sender clicks on accept quotes, we let them know, send a notification notification pops up saying you're about to accept this so amount that the dispatch had quotes, proceed. So if the sender proceeds, they are taken to the payment page. For the purpose of this, for the app, we have two payment gateway. The sender will be able to use their credit card, or the inter-account e-transfer. This is not the representation, but just so those are the two options. So there's a radio button showing that they can choose between credit card or the inter-account e-transfer.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they pay, click on pay now, and then we give them a breakdown of what the payment is, the success page, and then they can go back in. So basically, this is the flow from from the sender's end and on going over transactions and all. Um, so that's where we are for now.
We've not got
We made some changes. Sir?
out of the delivery to we've not gone to the delivery yet, the deliver package.
No, not yet.
No. It's going to be similar, but not yet. This was based on our meeting on. This was what was ready because we made some changes. The
Yeah,
chat interface,
this,
the
this is
wallets, those are ready.
this
Those
is
are ready, but the
this is
flow not
progress.
yet.
Yeah, this is really good progress. This makes a lot of sense. This is good progress. Anybody has any feedback as to what they can do differently or anything they feel? Anybody has any feedback? Okay.
Sorry, hello. I
Yeah.
was just gonna ask, at what point is this payment made? Is it after just concluding or after the job has been done? At what point?
So the
It
maybe
is
you guys want to answer that.
okay.
Okay.
I think
If yeah, so Emeka, your question is at what if I get you, you're asking at what point does the dispatcher get payment for the delivery? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, or at what point does the sender expected to make payment?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, from what Pyramid demoed, so at the point where the quote is accepted, the price is accepted, is redirected to the payment page, and then it makes that payment immediately. So what happens is that's okay.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Also, what happens is that once he has made that payment, it doesn't go to the dispatcher immediately. It hangs in an account. It's warehoused in an account at the back end. So until payment is delivery is confirmed,
So we
completed,
escrow,
yeah, to an escrow
like
account,
the escrow the suspense account.
Yeah,
right?
we'll escrow it until
Until
Okay,
payment or
beautiful.
delivery is confirmed.
everything is, yeah, that is why they should run it through us, right? Because that could be one of the sell points to make them know that listen, this thing will be escrowed while this whole thing happens. So if it happens successfully, we'll get the money sent over. If there's any issues in there, you know, then there will be some issues. Maybe further down the line, another thing
Yes.
we can do. Emeka, is your questions answered? Your question
Yeah,
answered?
it's answered. That's because I was gonna ask if the job was not done. But I think,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, Michael, it's a way to show people the integrity, both the sender and the receiver, that
Another
payment
thing I
is done.
wanted to even mention was the fact that, maybe down the line, if it makes sense, maybe down the line, there may be the opportunity to even hold certain amounts down. For example, maybe like $100 worth and say, hey, we are holding this thing this amount down just in case, so you don't mess with somebody's delivery, right? We don't want to hear stories
Hmm.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, sorry, Michael. I think after the payment, the system would hold the amount. That simply means that the dispatcher has a wallet
Mm.
on the on his own interface,
Mhm.
so he's seeing the amounts.
But it's not released to him.
It's not released there. So when the delivery is
Access
being
it.
complete, now he will now go back and send the money from his own wallet to his bank account.
I don't get that. From his own wallet to his bank account. How?
Yes. Yes. Now the money will be he will just be seeing the money on his wallet.
Mm.
That's on the wallet on the application.
But
So
he
now
can't even
after when
he can't access it.
he cannot access it
And he cannot send it to bank account.
until the process is completed.
Okay, yes. So once the process is completed,
He can now
he now
yes,
has it in his
yes,
both
back
wallet, and he can send it to his bank account immediately
exactly,
on,
exactly.
on a fee.
So
On a
Yeah.
fee.
Okay,
have
another question that just came out to my mind. What is the process completion process? Sorry. So how do we confirm that the process has been completed?
oh,
And is the sender, does the sender have an input in that process?
okay.
Yes, it's just that we have not actually, what we demo today is not the end of the transaction.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just at the end of a phase. Even after this time, the last time we discussed, there was even another level where we said that what if after money was paid and the dispatcher failed, process of refund. We still look at, there's still a lot of
There's still a lot of
activities, a
things,
lot of things to be done. It's just that this is just a stage.
the stage
This
that
is
we
just a stage, yeah. So we have not really concluded everything.
on that. Okay, that's fine. Fair enough.
There's still room for feedback and things like that. There's still room for feedback. It's just that we have not gotten there.
Okay, that's fine. That's completely okay. That's fine. So they haven't gotten there yet. What they just showed
Yeah.
today is the sender side of things, where they negotiate stuff. They pick a sender that is actually has said, this is my route. Okay, I'm going to be moving from Vaughan to, Vancouver, and I'll be 3 days on the road just in case you want to send something to Vancouver. You don't want to, I can help you deliver that kind of thing, right? Maybe you don't want to use the post office. Maybe I have this truck. They may even have a truck, right? And they're moving from here to Vancouver, and you want to send your bed. Post office is not going to do that. Post office may not do that for you. So now you have this guy who has his truck ready, and he can help you deliver it. So he can help you send that down. While he's just trying to move over to Vancouver, he will make some money in the process. So they're still going to work through the modalities. There's still a lot of things to consider. There's still a lot of modality, but that doesn't stop us from, still making that progress. There's a lot of thoughts in between, and I really give kudos to these guys for putting in a lot of thought into the whole process. There's a whole lot of thinking that has to go in there. So, Francis, Kayode, Tayo, Vivian, and Feromi. Is there any other person I'm missing there?
Wilson and Busai.
Wilson and Busai, although they are in the